So I just wanted to do a critical reflection of the project as a whole. Overall, I'm really happy with how this project went. In terms of, I'm really happy with all the experiences that I've had, from Bangers and Mash to trying to make an independent venue week lineup, to my experiences with DIY that came directly as a result from Bangers and Mash. Well, kind of. It was also, meeting the right people, but they wouldn't have taken me on if I hadn't previously known what a costing sheet was, known what an advance email was, if I didn't have a Mash House email to email them from, so they didn't have to have my personal email address. I think that was quite a big thing. All these little things, just the Bangers and Mash just made me have the ability to present myself in a much more professional manner. I'm really grateful for that. In terms of how the things with DIY actually went, Bangers and Mash gave me the confidence to go to Eurosonic and deal with a whole manner of new people in a confident way. It gave me experiences to draw upon when in my interview, when they asked me how I would deal with certain situations, and the knowledge of how to deal with certain backline situations, and having the intuition to check that there's definitely going to be backline there everywhere, that I learnt from the Dead Rabbit show, for example, all stood me in really good stead at the South by Southwest situation now. Knowing how to deal with managers and booking agents was really handy for when I was having to do the Jaeger Curtain Call bookings, and still am doing those. So it's all really done me in good stead, which is exactly what I wanted it to do, and that's the reason that Dan gave me the project, gave me the ability to have this financial burden lifted so that I could learn all this without having to withdraw because of financial difficulties or anything. I'm so grateful for his support. It's been amazing through it. I think that in terms of the actual shows, though, I've seen some massive flaws in how I approach shows. I wouldn't say that any of the shows... No. I would say that all the the Dead Rabbit show and the Van Teese show were both booked in due time. They were booked in good enough time. And the Youth and Young was booked in sort of good enough time. However, Posable Action Figures and Crystal weren't really booked in good enough time to promote the show properly. And I also felt that with the Van Teese and with Dead Rabbit and Real Life Entertainment, not enough effort maybe was put in on my behalf to build up the Bangers and Mash brand page enough that it would have a direct impact on the ticket sales and be proven a useful source of be proven a useful tool for marketing. So I essentially felt like the Bangers and Mash page had the potential to be quite a popular page if I had posted on it more, but I felt like I didn't utilise it enough, and I really regret doing that. And if I was carrying this bit on, then if I was going to carry on Bangers and Mash, then I would definitely be trying to build it up. There's various reasons I didn't, but that's just how it is. In terms of the actual how Bangers and Mash progressed in music terms, I'm really happy with all the bands that I put on. None of them we got left on bad terms at all. The only issues were slightly with Gallus or just with Gallus or Rituals, but even then there's no bad blood at all. I've learned a lot about how to act towards bands as a promoter. Just be really, really nice to people. That's all that they really want, is for you to be nice and trustworthy and give them their money without them having to ask you for it. And a cup of tea or coffee. I've found that really does go the furthest it could possibly go. It's like gold dust, basically. And I also felt like this has really made me learn what it's like being in a band and what they are scared of promoters doing to them. So, for example, the Forbes show, I felt they were so determined that we were going to maybe take advantage of them, that they were trying to take advantage of us, or that's definitely what happened with Gallus. And it's really opened my eyes to the kind of difficult world that some artists are exposed to in terms with, like, from promoters. The Forbes show was really a learning curve for me, and I accredit Bangers and Mash to giving me the confidence to stand up and say, no, I'm not putting on this show because I don't trust you, and I don't think that this show should go on, and I'm not being taken advantage of. Just from various like times where Dan had said to me, someone's trying to take the mickey out of you right now, and you need to stand up for yourself, and never actually doing it at the time, but still thinking, I need to do this. So yeah, that definitely was like a straw breaking in me, and I was like, no, not at all. So it was a straw in the camel's back. I thought, I'm not doing this, and I felt like I could comfortably use my experience from Bangers and Mash to make a good business decision that the show would not be a successful one. So even regardless of personal feelings, the show was not going to be a success because of what I'd learned from not like the Crystal show wasn't booked in enough time, and basically I refuse to go through that again where we make a loss on a show, because even though it's not coming out of my own pocket, it still is, not really fair on the Mash House. The other critical reflection that I've got of this whole thing is how I still sometimes am finding myself with that, talking to people over Facebook Messenger if it's available, rather than email, and I really need to stop doing that because business is business, and shouldn't really be mixed with Facebook unless it's like an emergency. Although I do have my lovely beginner's Bible that I made for myself, I'm still finding myself forgetting certain things. So forgetting to get the email addresses from everyone, forgetting to get the phone numbers from everyone before the day of the show, so I'm not panicking thinking I've not got a way to get in touch with them. Not sending the advance email until like about a week or even after that, before the show. I sometimes am forgetting to actually start looking for support bands once I got the headline slot. I've been quite bad at booking the support bands. I'm quite annoyed at myself that the Youth and Young had only one support act. That shouldn't have happened again. That should not have been a mistake that I repeated from the first time, from the Proposable Action Figures show. So overall, although I've learnt a lot and I've gained a lot from this experience, and the testimonials obviously say that I wasn't that bad to work with, I do feel like there's a lot of area for improvement, and what this project's really done is highlight the areas that I didn't even know I was making mistakes in, so that I can rectify that to become a good promoter. But overall, I'm really glad with how everything went. I'm really glad with the thing I've built up. I'm sad that I'll have to let it go.